Okay, let's work with some arches. We're going to understand in this video how our arches influence our standing behavior, standing and walking actually. So have a seat, grab a foot, work with Callie here, and let's get into our arches. So start with the bottom of your foot. You're going to trace from your heel with 2 or 3 fingers out to the big toe. And the reason we're doing this is just to bring your awareness to the convexity and the concavity of your foot. So you can trace from your heel to your big toe, trace from your heel toward your little toe. Just notice the spots where your foot dips in, and notice the spots where it's more convex. Good, and just bring your awareness to the fact that there are some pretty good dips on the toe side in the middle of the foot, on the big toe side in the middle of the foot, and some pretty big dips on the little toe side in the middle of your foot. So those are 2 arches that many people talk about when they talk about the feet. Some people say there are 3 arches in the bottom of the foot, and some people say there are 6 arches. But there are just know that there are spots that are going to be really in contact with the ground, and then spots that are not as much in contact with the ground. And just spend a little time now traversing across your foot. So in a transverse pattern there, from the inside of the foot to the outside of the foot, just noticing concavity, convexity. This is really good work for your nervous system. Now we're just going to go ahead and repeat that on the other side here. So work along with Callie here. Tracing with 2 or 3 fingers from the heel to the toes. Your brain, the outside of your brain, has a map of every part of your body, and some parts of that map are really, really bright and detailed, and other parts need more detail. We really need a detailed map of our feet if we're going to use our feet in ways that will help us the most. So yeah, longitudinal traces and then transverse traces across the foot. Now let's just get our feet ready and awake for what we're about to do. We're going to do some tapotement, or some kind of slapping or tapping on the bottom of our feet. Just concentrate on the bottom of the foot. With this slapping. Both feet. And after you've sufficiently awakened your feet, have a stand up. And let's tune into what our arches do in this particular movement here. So standing with Callie, just tune into what parts of your feet are in contact with the ground and what parts of your feet are lifted from the ground. And let's tune into now what parts of our feet lift off the ground when we rotate. So we'll have you, along with Callie, rotate just toward your left foot. And hang out there for a second. So your belly button is rotated toward the left. You're going to let your hips come along with that just a little bit. And notice that the left inside, or the inside of the left foot, is lifted a little bit off the ground. And your weight is really on the outside of the left foot. But the right foot might have more contact with the inside of the foot. Now go to the other side and notice what happens. Do you notice how your body wants to shift the weight so that you're on the outside of the right foot, but the inside of the left foot? And then let's go back to our first side. So going to our left, now we're on the outside of the left foot, inside of the right foot, now back and forth. And watch your feet change. Watch your feet with your mind's eye change. So the arches on the inside are lifting each time you rotate. This is really good awareness work for waking up the arches in your foot, enlivening them, vivifying them so that you have use of them when you walk and when you stand, when you run. Now come back to center. Now here's something cool. So think about, Callie's doing a good job here of the second toe being lined up with the knee. That's great. So if you can check that at home, that'd be good. Now let's concentrate on the right big toe and drive the big toe ball on the right side into the ground, and notice, without even working very hard, what happens in your upper body. You might like drive it into the ground and then let it go, and then drive it into the ground and let it go. Can you notice what happens in the rest of your body, especially the upper body, as you drive the big toe in? Yeah, so do you notice how you're rotating to the left just by driving that big toe ball into the ground? Try the left big toe ball now. So driving the big toe ball on the left side into the ground. Notice how you can turn your entire body to the right by driving the left big toe ball into the ground. And then just play back and forth. Notice how you can steer your upper body by moving your feet on the ground or contacting the ground in a more firm way. You might speed it up a little bit. And then just one more thing here to tune into our arches. So coming to just a neutral position, still standing. Let's think about where our arches are in space. And if you have a mirror, you can really see this, but use your mind's eye if you don't have a mirror. So we're thinking about those arches that you traced on your foot earlier. And then what I'd like you to do is isometrically pull your shins together. When you do that, it may feel like your feet medially tilt. In other words, it may feel like you're on the insides of your feet a little bit more. And then isometrically rotate your thighs to the outside or laterally. So point your knees to the outsides of the room that you're in. And you'll feel that you're like, it's almost like if there were a piece of paper under your feet, it's like you're ripping it in half. And notice how much tension that puts into the pelvic floor. And also notice how stable you are. And the most important thing with this exercise is to notice how lifted your feet are on the inside. So let's do this one more time. Just relax, maybe march in place. Shake it out. Okay. Same exercise. Our toes are pointing forward, second toe lined up with the knee. Isometrically pull your shins together. There's not going to be any visible movement here if someone's watching you from the outside, but you'll feel it. And then isometrically rotate your thighs to the outsides of the room, as if you are tearing a piece of paper apart with the toe ball. And notice how strong you feel and how switched on your pelvic floor feels there. So connecting the pelvic floor, which is lifted at times, to the arches, which are lifted at times. And there's our awareness work for the arches in your feet.